It's the Too Close for Podcast, once again. Episode 7 by popular demand. Unfortunately, popular demand is at the time we're recording this episode dictates that Too Close for Comfort only is going to be on one day a week on Antenna TV. So for all those of you who are watching along with us at home, well, it'll be a snail's pace on the weekend, but hey, at least it's still on. So I understand you got to make room for new programming. They got a whole new season of stuff coming on, but we're here to talk about this show. Episode 7, Season 1 tonight we're talking about. Aired on December 16th, 1980, which, let me see here, it is the final 1980 episode.
Yeah, this is a go-home episode for the 80s, or for 80.
Yeah. The episode title, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? And Wolf spelled with an E, because Wolf is Mr. Wolfe, Jackie's boss at the bank.
He's the assistant. He's the bank manager, the assistant manager. He must be the manager. Okay, so right off the bat, Jackie comes home for lunch. She's got her lunch, and Sarah's getting. All right, let's start over.
Small paper bag she's carrying. I wouldn't consider that a grocery bag prop. It's a small paper bag.
Yeah, she's got her lunch and what appears to be. Anyway, she's got some sort of beverage. She's there to pick up Sarah.
Oh, she has some Sunny Delight.
Looks like the Sunny Delight. There we go. She's drinking her Sunny D. She's come to pick Sarah up for her first day of official work. She's been at the bank all week training, getting ready to be a part-time cashier. Jackie warns her to watch out for Mr. Wolfe because he's a real pig. He's definitely going to hit on her, just like she got hit on the very first day she went to work.
He's a wolf. He's going to eat you.
Yeah, it's like a double entendre. I didn't put the E in my notes. Upstairs, there's Mr. Rush reading the funny papers in his Northwestern sweater.
Yes.
And I don't know what's Muriel doing?
She's looking out the window.
Well, that's right. She's telling him that Jackie has come home to take Sarah to work during her lunch break. So at the bank, an old woman. So then we cut to the bank.
And what a bank it is.
Yeah, the bank is pretty shipshod. It doesn't really look like a bank. There's a couple, what would you call them, tables?
Yeah, no windows.
No windows, nowhere to fill out any sort of bank slip. And Jackie and Sarah are working side by side. Am I right?
Yeah.
And an old lady who looks like where's the beef lady comes up and complains that she has a letter saying that she's overdrawn $26.35 and asks Sarah to check what her balance was last month. So Sarah goes over to what appears to be an adding machine.
State-of-the-art 1980 bank technology.
And punches a few buttons and comes back says, well, last month you had $112. And then the old lady's like, well, did I send a letter to you? And then leaves. And she's all pissed off. So then Wolfe walks up and asks her for her receipts for the day. Because they're doing everything on paper here. They got adding machines with roll spools of paper on them at the counter. This is what's happening at this bank in 1980. What is this? 1980, obviously. So he looks at these receipts. He just glances at the top one and tells them that they're all fine. Excellent work. And proceeds to charm her with telling her what a great job she's doing. She knows all the computer codes. She knows how to work the cage work.
Most tellers don't catch on so fast.
And then Jackie Jackie comes up and word for word says, "Did he say this?"
That the tellers catch on so quickly. Well, not exactly. He didn't say quickly. He said fast. A reenactment.
A live reenactment. So then, boom, next thing you know, we're back at home, and Sarah wants to take a shower before Jackie asks Sarah, Sarah asks Jackie, "Hey, can I take a shower before you? Because I got a date." So then Jackie grills her, like Jackie figures out who it is. It's not Russ from New Accounts. We know that. No, it's Barry Wolfe, their boss. And Sarah says he's been on her side all week, and of course Jackie doesn't buy any of this shit. She's very upset about the whole thing. Yeah, Sarah says that he wants to talk about the loan department job, the assistant loan, or we don't learn that is, anyway, the loan department job, and tells Jackie she's jealous. And then boom, next scene, it's 11:30. Jackie's still up. The parents are walking by. They just came back from the Save the Seals charity event where Muriel was trying to sell her photographs, and Henry ended up buying them all. And they appear to be drunk at this point. And then she tells them about how Wolfe is going to molest Sarah. And then Sarah shows up, and she's just gotten the job in the loan department. And that's the end of Act 1.
Wow.
Wow. I know.
They sure did cram a lot into that first act.
They did. All right, so Act 2 opens up with Muriel comes home with the dry cleaning. Henry's reading his Cosmic Cow comic book on the couch.
It's a comic book this week.
It's a comic book. And he's talking about what crap it is and how he can't believe how awful it is. Just disgusted with his own work. You can really see him questioning himself. You can feel the depth of the character at this point. What do you think?
Well, it was crap when I turned it in, so...
And then we get an idea that maybe he's got some money problems in the house. They can't afford the dry cleaning. And even though Sarah didn't, the last episode, Sarah's like, "Oh, take your time. Don't worry about the rent."
Oh, that was last week.
Now she's got to get a job at the bank. All right, Sarah comes in. She's all upset and she wants to borrow a lint brush. And she's talking about quitting her job. She's not talking to Jackie. They're fighting. Jackie won't even talk to her. People are gossiping about her at the bank. And the parents assure that they believe her, even though Henry doesn't quite seem to believe her. And then they find out that Wolfe took Sarah to his house to rinse out his shirt, and then there's some talk about rinsing.
Oh, yeah, just a little rinsing.
Every time Muriel tries to creep out Henry about her weird sexual past.
What does she tell him? Like that was a normal occurrence?
Yeah, what's a little rinsing amongst?
Because Sarah's food at dinner got all over.
She spilled chicken cacciatore
all over dude's clothes, so they had to go to his apartment right away to
rinse it
out. You know, just a little rinsing.
Because he happened to live very close to the restaurant, which is apparently another weird thing. So Henry gets all upset because anyway, Sarah has to hurry off to school. She's still going to school this whole time. That's why she's only working part-time, I guess. Is she really in a position to be getting a promotion if she's going to school? How could she be the assistant to the loan director? That doesn't sound like a part-time job.
No.
Okay, we're talking about, now we got enough on logic. So Henry, he's all upset. He decides he's going to go down to the bank and have a talk with this Mr. Wolfe. And that would be the end of Act 2.
One thing that happens at the end of Act 2. Henry makes some big kind of speech. And then as he's running out the door, he says something like, "Write that down. I could use that for Cosmic Cow."
Because he wants Muriel to, because he's all blustering. And
he's like, that's good material as opposed to the crap he
normally churns out. All right, so at the bank, the guy who played Mr. Carlin on the Bob Newhart show, something Riley, I forget his last name. Do you have his name there? No, you don't have. No, okay. Well, yeah, we can figure that out. Mr. Carlin, everybody knows who that is, except for people who don't. So he goes to Jackie's window and asks for the manager. And then, so Mr. Wolfe comes over and he tells him to fill up a very small bag with money. He wants him to go back to the safe and fill this very small bag with money. And the guy's like, well, shouldn't you have brought a bigger bag? And he's like, I don't tell you how to do your job, or something like that. And just then, Henry shows up. Well, he also has a gun. He's got a gun in his pants. So just then, Henry shows up and confronts Wolfe about Sarah's job. The robber gets fed up eventually, and he goes to rob another bank.
Yeah, Henry thwarts the robbery, which happened in a bank with no glass booths or anything.
Well, that was the early 80s, security wasn't quite so.
And that guy didn't have the profile of a bank robber either,
He didn't look like he wanted a whole lot of money, and he certainly didn't want to use the gun. That was the last thing he wanted to do. He just wanted some money. And then, so Wolfe, as all this is happening, the robbery, and Henry's all putting him in his place, he agrees to tell everyone the truth. And then at home, Jackie apologizes to Sarah, tells her that Wolfe admitted that he was a pig,
but never to speak of it to anyone.
Yeah, everybody was sworn to secrecy. And Sarah's so happy that her sister believes her that I'm assuming she keeps the job.
And the crowd enjoyed it as well. The audience. Yay, the audience. Let's see. For guest stars, I just wrote bank, because there was a lot of people in the bank. And all of the guest stars were in the bank, like Mr. Wolfe and the bank robber and the old lady who wanted to know information about her bank account. What else happened? As you were saying, Henry was
Jack Riley. Jack Riley's his name. The bank robber.
Henry reads a Cosmic Cow comic book in this one. This is the first time it's been a comic book. It's been referred to as a strip before, maybe even a cartoon, they call it. But I don't think they mean like a cartoon on TV. We'll get to that much later. So what is Cosmic Cow? We don't really know.
It's a comic book.
It's a comic book.
It's a monthly comic book.
And it's a comic strip.
Wow.
It's got to be,
it's like
it's in the newspaper sometimes. So.
Did Garfield ever have his own comic book?
Probably.
I'm trying to think of examples of Spider-Man. Spider-Man was a comic book and a comic strip.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not unheard of, but they don't ever address the fact that it's both. It's either just one or the other, depending on who's writing the episode, I think. And, of course, there was the discussion of write that down. That's good Cosmic Cow dialogue. Henry wore the Northwestern sweater, as was mentioned. Monroe, nowhere to be seen, once again. Really, where would he have fit into the story this week anyway? I counted 2 instances of Henry pointing and 1 Henry stammer. It was quite a stammer. As far as Muriel's photography, they talked about donating the photographs, of which Henry bought them all, which, well...
kind of defeats the purpose
exactly.
of the auction. We already had. They could have just donated the money.
Goofy logic there.
They got drunk, so it seemed like they had a good time.
Yeah. Henry sits, but does not flip on the couch. He's already learned how to balance on the couch by.
Well, I think that's because he was
7.
drunk.
Oh,
So he was.
It counteracted it.
Yeah.
Counterbalanced.
Seemed really comfortable in the apartment. Jackie was the one. She wasn't even. She was sitting on the floor as opposed to any of the furniture. She was smart because she was sober. I guess you got to sit in it like Monroe's. I'm thinking of the chair. Anyway.
The intro was the extended intro from 104. You know, with the bridge and the.
It was the original
trolley
intro,
car
wasn't
and
it?
that.
Or was it even more extended than the original episode?
Yeah, the original just starts with that shot that pans over to the house. And then there's that extended one that starts with the bridge. And then you see the people in the trolley car. And then the shot that pans over to the house.
They also switch it up because sometimes Muriel will have the camera around her neck, and other times she'll be looking at the magazine.
Yeah, the magazine is the OG one, and that was what was in this episode, I believe. We had a very odd music cue when they go to the bank the first time. It's a piece of music that I've never heard in any other episode. Very strange. We also get the one note transition music cue twice. I'm going to give this one a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5.
I'm going to give it I never rate it. I'll give it a 4. I thought it was a good solid. They left the house. That's rare.
That is rare.
We got to see the bank where Jackie worked.
Yeah.
We hardly ever leave the place, let alone get a street shot that isn't their street. And I've never actually seen them on their street. And had all the misunderstanding, the good 70s premise where somebody thinks something's happening that's not happening. I'm going to give it about maybe 3.5.
As far as bizarre, odd happenings, just the name Mr. Wolfe is hilarious in and of itself. And also, there is an Iris clone in the bank.
I missed that.
I did too this time. I must have realized it when I took my notes. If you look carefully in the bank, there is a lady that looks like Iris, who is Muriel's mother, who still hasn't been on the show yet. As far
Never
as
been
this
named.
episode. Still
so
not
far.
named, yeah. A very special episode this week. What feels like a very special sexual harassment episode quickly turns to sitcom farce. A Little Rinsing would have been a better episode title, I think.
Yeah, that could work.
There's nothing wrong with A Little Rinsing.
Not in the scheme of things, no.
So we'll be back next week with the 8th episode, the first one from 1981, Mr. Big. Henry's publisher is bought out, and Henry worries for his job. First appearance of Arthur Wainwright. The first Wainwright, but we'll get into that more next time.
You can hear my show on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand. Download the free app today. Listen anytime, anywhere.
Create custom playlists. Rate and review my show on Stitcher. And over 4 million car dashboards.
On demand and on the go. No downloading, no syncing, no wasted memory. Stream your favorite podcasts. Don't have Stitcher? Download it free today at Stitcher.com or in the App Store.